Or maybe they're just staying home. Either way. Home is where they'll be.
They will be home, and it's a heartbreaker for sure. You know, we've seen Neon struggle up and down a little bit, go through many roster changes, building off of the experience of VESSUWAN. And it always felt like every single time they were on the cusp of being great, right? Like individually, some of the players VESSUWAN molded, like say Avatar mode, have managed to get into better squads. Ken tipping his idol, his enjoyer, the haha cool enjoyer himself, tipping haha. Iho. Ken, you can't say Iho. You're young. You're younger than him.
Well, what does it mean?
Iho's like boy.
Oh.
But Ken is like 20. Ah, is like 27 or something, I think.
Oh my
Come
goodness.
on, Ken.
Oh my goodness. And I'll tell you what, John, if someone called me a boy, that's a guaranteed fight right there. I guarantee someone's getting slapped.
Hello,
My
boy.
goodness. Oh my goodness. I fully expect to return the favor if they win this game. I fully expect some trash talk. You can't just
I'd
do
love
it.
to see it. Yeah, no way. No way. Ken, poking and playing tag, does manage to grab the rune.
Yeah.
And they deny, Rubito denies the rune with his wolves at the very least. So a 2-for-1 start. Not as bad as it could be.
Certainly not. Shall we start with the mid lane, Jonathan? You've got JG against, of course, Ken here in the mid lane. The Ember vs Park matchup, the one we've seen about 1,000 times now in our careers. How's this lane go?
Boring. It goes fine. Thank you for the pause. Raging. There you go, Mike. That's what you were looking for. I'd like to... What's Raging?
Curtain.
Oh, curtain. Okay, curtain.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Team house curtain? Light coming in? Gamers hate light, Mike.
I understand. Well, why were the curtains open in the first place?
A wind?
That's my question.
Maybe they left a window open? You know, gets pretty warm.
Oh, amateur. Amateur
It's
mistakes.
not raining in Manila, Mike. It's not cold.
No, it's not. That's a good reference, Jonathan. I've been enjoying the song. Thank you for that.
It's a very good song.
I was trying to fit a pun in somewhere in the cast, but I couldn't find one, sadly.
Yeah, it would be very topical if you could see the rain, but fortunately it's rather warm, at least for me down south. Still, mid lane matchup's also going to be rather lukewarm.
Raging.
It's going to be a steady farm. Ooh.
Yeah, bottom lane is where all the action is, because Raging Potato's down. He's dead. The Haha and Young God able to get it done, and keep in mind, this is prior to the level 2 mark. Once you have level 2 homing missile and Cinderbrew together, it's going to be very hard to contest. Kishka does try to go after Young God now, but the Cinderbrew slow is going to kick in. Young God does not hit level 2 yet, so doesn't have the homing missile to spam out onto Kishka. But like I said, with the Cinderbrew and the homing missile, that's going to be very annoying harassment to come towards Neo.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I like that Haha just understands how tanky this Brewmaster is. Playing up front, no static link out and Raging, so there's no threat of being punished if you do overextend like this, although...
Young God. Yeah, he might just be dead. He'll finally hit level 2. He'll get the homing missile out. He'll survive. Kishka now, the one in danger is Haha does have the Thunderclap available in Kishka. Well, he stands his ground, he goes for the fight, and he will walk out with Raging. But they are trying to apply the pressure before things get a little bit spicy down in the spot lane. And now
they've done a great job. Like, there's no regen on hand for Young God. So he has to be so careful. Like, this plasma field spam at max range on a ranged tier is really easy to land while farming for Raging Potato. He's got the static link. So next time Kishka runs up with those cogs, he's going to have the damage output to clean up. This is also a dangerous lane as the levels go up here for the side of MIPH. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth down there. Young God will have to... Well, he walks up to his regen at the very least, just more tangos. But he does have room to just sit back and regen up. Curious to see what else is happening around the lanes before any more action breaks down. Bot up top, Fortune Soul on that. Sven is having a decent time. They are still keeping that chase, though.
Yeah, they are. Static link out on Haha, but Kishka is taking so much damage. Still Haha might die first and does. Kishka gonna pop the Fairy Fire and go for a run, and now Young God. Nice cogs pushback. Gonna save them. However, Raging needs to get out. So does Kishka. They'll survive, but my goodness are they low.
That they are. They do manage to get the Lotus up on Raging, so he could re-engage if he wants to. If they find the angle in, although...
Oh, Raging. Not gonna be happy with this. Slowed up. All the damage coming in. Thunderclap will connect, and Raging Potato will finally die. Lotus or not, he is down. Top lane. Look at this shot. Behind the T1 tower now is Fortune Soul.
Just applying laning pressure. Looks like they might have gone for a little bit of a pull, or just diving a little bit, just wanting to ensure that this Lycan doesn't get as much as it wants to here. Fortune Soul farming up a storm though, 25-6 on the Sven, no contestation coming out from the Lycan, which you'd expect. This is a slower lane coming out here for Rupido, just to sit back and farm lane, which the Sven will enjoy. Castaway is copping the short end of the stick though, with a wolf harassment.
He certainly is. They're not going to leave the poor guy alone either. I think they're just going to dive to tier 1. Not allow the salve usage. He's going to survive anyway. It's not a big deal. He'll get the salve eventually. But the wolves are back. They're hunting. They're looking for Castaway. They won't get him this time. Looking back at mid lane. Very close affair between Ken and, of course, JG. Back to the top lane. The thing is, for Fortune Soul, he's getting complete free farm at this top lane. Like, there is zero contest for him.
Yeah. Not much you can do to stop it. I like that MIPH is just pulling this creep wave behind again. So they're trying to get their own free farm going here for Rupido. And just constantly meeting these creep waves, getting as much denies as possible. It does make it a little bit tougher to snowball out as the Sven. And does ensure your Lycan has a start. Down bot again, some aggression onto Kishka. Not too much, just poking and prodding.
Yes, yeah. The damage is annoying, but not enough for Kishka to really feel threatened by it. Raging's even thinking about going in. Kishka will go for the battery assault, looking for the cogs on Young God. Can't quite close the gap, but the plasma field is going to connect. Problem is Young God is still out of there. Like, they really want the cogs on Young God to lock him down so the static link can come in from Raging. But the gyrocopter proves to be a little bit too fast. So sadly for Kishka, no brown boots up makes it a little bit hard to close the gap. Now, had you had those brown boots instead of the urn, I think you would have had maybe a kill or more on Kishka now, but I also understand, like, he wants to set a tempo by getting these early urn charges. Because once you've got early urn charges on clock, like, you can just kill anyone, basically, in the first 10 minutes. But he doesn't get any. So now he's going to start rotating for a power rune, but can't really consider trying to kill off someone like JG or rotating to top.
Yeah, you've got the level 6 up and running for your Ember. A little bit of a dive down top again to kind of secure the pulled wave. They dropped the tombstone early, and that's some free gold coming out for Lucify at the very least. So a slower laning phase. It does feel fine for both sides. You're getting some decent farm on both ends.
Young God.
Although...
Chase is on. Cog's pushback is nice onto Haha. Young God's going to be okay, just having most of his damage taken away by Raging, but again, without Kishka finding the cogs onto the gyrocopter, there's no real chance of a kill happening yet. So he's alright. A little bit of a nuisance at this stage with a minus 106 damage. Be okay.
Still getting that form you'd want on Young God. And he is fairly close to just finishing up a Crystallis. Rotation up top from Ken. He has the coil. But they play so safe on the side of MIPH. They're not giving any openings for these kinds of moves. Anyone goes missing on the map, they just stand back.
Behold! Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Chase is on from Castaway now. Castaway is just going to throw a casual decay as a JG in the meantime, mid lane. Bit of a harass onto the puck. Won't be too much. Every time I look at this top lane, they're still farming behind the tier 1 tower. So it seems like Rupido, who's been finding zero farm at this top lane, just continues to ask the Rubik to pull the wave over.
Oh no, it's his wolves.
Oh,
every single time he's just microing his wolves and pulling them away. So there's room for Lucify to actually move across the map.
Well, Ken.
No?
Yeah, mid lane, Ken's very, very low. Rotations in from Kishka. Pog's pushback gonna drag him outside of the coil. That'll be enough to save the life of the puck, but now Rupido's down top lane. Lucify could do nothing to help him on the Rubik. He'd already committed the Fade Bolt and the lift up. So Rupido finally gets punished for this these creep shenanigans he's been pulling off. And more gold to go the way of the Sven.
Yeah, and this is a free farm Sven. Mask of Madness not too far off. They haven't had time to stack up, to be fair. So that is one downside. There's no big flash farm for you to find. Oh,
A lot of damage bottom lane onto Raging Potato. Won't even bother trying to use the static link or the one charges he had. He just understood he was dead. Meanwhile, middle, Kishka, battery assault's going to be on JG, but Kishka's very low. Ken's like, what the hell is he doing? Well, my Clockwork's just feeding kills to the Ember now.
I think he understood. There's not much counterplay with a haste up on JG. These forces out a little bit more mana usage out from the Ember. No TP back for the refill anytime soon. Rune is still some time away as well. But there will be a bounty rune at the very least to top up with, and JG can start to look down bot if he wants to. So far, a strong start for MIPH. Like, they are getting the aggression out. They aren't finding too much in exchange for farm. I think that's really just down to how well Fortune Soul is working top and how badly Rupido's lane is going. That's where the main net worth difference is lying on, but the rest of MIPH is having a very solid time. Neon, though, looking for the rotations once more. Ken's working his way up top. See if they find Rupido once more.
Try it. He's hit level 6 at least. They have the wolf form up. But they want to at least try to pressure the top tier 1 tower while they're here, it seems like, and well, they'll be able to get away with that quite easily. Is now Kishka forcing the wolf form out of Rupido very early on. And that'll be the tier 1 top tower going down. There'll be no kind of trade. In fact, I say that there was a trade because bottom tier 1 goes down by Young God. Now mid lane, Coil will lock in the Rubik. Lucify going to be saved by JG. Raging Potato joining the fray, but now Raging might need to back off because he is kind of surrounded, but he'll go for the fight against Haha. Haha managed to get himself out. Now Raging gets the call down taken out by Young God. In fact, they found the chains. Oh, Ken. They'll try to orb away. With the phase shift, he does make it, but the sleight of fist from JG gonna ensure they get the kill. Meanwhile, top lane, there's still more action breaking out. JG finds another kill. Kish gonna go down now. But even Castaway shows up mid lane to try and harass out the Ember, but JG says, "Excuse me, sir. You look tasty. The chase is on." And this might be a triple. Castaway gonna try for a deny. JG very, very patiently waiting, though the sleight of fist not really helping his cause. And it seems like Castaway's okay. He'll run out of it.
Yep. Manages to bail out, is forced to salve up, but he's not bleeding any more kills. They are still focused in on this mid, Kishka.
JG's very, very active now. Kishka trying to help defend, will not be able to do anything about it as JG takes his life. Kishka not even able to get the deny on the tier 1 tower as JG, calm down, sir. You can't just dive tier 2 towers now. Take it easy.
Yeah, he knows he's strong. He understands that. Again, there's no real stuns outside of Dream Coil for the Ember. It's hard to play around at. Fortune Soul?
They hit the Cinder Brew. Blood Grenade will not pop the Cinder. In fact, it didn't even land. So never mind.
No. They're ready to go, though, on MIPH. They've got that split ready in Haha, so they can try to isolate that Sven if it comes down to it. And they are getting a lot of room out. Young God already has the crystal. It's already 2 parts into the Ags. Having a very smooth ride right now in the Gyrocopter. They are starting to get some stacks going their way on the side of Neon. So that is something to fall back on for Fortune Soul with his MOM. But the pressure is not relenting from MIPH. Like, they've always got the power runes coming out for JG as well. Regen on hand can just reset, look for more action. Just nothing going out here for Ken. And they'll smoke and invade, grab a bounty, but no one's down here. Even thinking about walking through the gate.
Haha could be in a spot of danger here. He's all right for now, not being spotted, just hiding by the twin gates. And JG is making his way down to the bottom lane. So JG wants the fight. Haha does have the primal split.
I see Haha.
Now Ken will see him. Haha gonna run towards Raging Potato instead as they do make the jump in, but there is help around for him if necessary, is what is required. Dream Coil is out. Ken does land on 2, but the primal split still making it very hard for Raging. But now JG is in big trouble. He'll run towards the north. They'll lock down the Razor. Remnants towards the north. We'll be able to get away for now, but the chase is ongoing. Ken wants the kill. But it seems like they oh, what a hook! What a hook from Kishka. Completely blind as well, by the way. Very, very nice.
That is insane. That's the big kill they need. Another massive streak on JG being fed away. All over some really optimistic plays trying to jump the Razor, not expecting that rotation from the puck. They did spot the illusory orb under tower, but the fact that they spot Haha and find that angle just makes it so tough. Fortune Soul, though, might not be as fortunate here.
Fortune Soul. Yeah, he's been lifted up. Lucify, not afraid of anything right now, knowing his team's on the way, but here comes Kishka to zone them out with the cogs. Call down has been committed. Haha still trying to chase, but has nothing to lock anyone down. So Neon, they walk away scot-free.
Dire's courier has been
No real threat.
Yeah. Managing to back off and go for their own smoke play now. Dreamcoil is back up. They've got room for Fortune Soul to farm a couple of small stacks here in the triangle. And they've got basically their big ults ready to go. See if they find an angle in there, looking at mid.
Yeah, that they are. This rune going to be taken by JG. Ken, Coil will land. They've got the Ember. He'll use the Invis, but it will not help in the Dream Coil. He is just going to die. He's now Haha trying to run the other way, but runs right into a Raging Potato. Bye-bye, sir. In fact, mid lane, it's not even over. They found the Gyrocopter. Oh, young
no.
god. Not the Gyro. Oh, boy. And Neon, they are really starting to take over this game, number 3. They'll even take all the stacks away from the Gyro. And this is another great point about the POS 1 Sven that was chosen, right? Like, you just... It just covers all the bases. The bonus armor, the farming speed, and now the Ancient's just being stolen with no hesitation. It's a real problem for MIPH.
And again, it just goes back to prioritizing Gyrocopter for them to build their drafts around. It feels like it kind of limits them to this one playstyle with Young God. And again, it's just so readable. After game 1, game 2, we saw its shortcomings when Neon played this way. They're doing it again, applying that pressure onto that win condition, not leaving too much room to grow. Rupidos not having the impact you'd want just yet in the Lycan either. And that feels like it's going to be a long time until that Lycan is ready to go. And Neon, they've done a great job. They might not be taking the objectives off the back of these kills though. Like mid-tier 1 still stands, it's really healthy. But the build-up you're getting, the timings that you're lining up for, like this fast BKB on Raging, it's going to be really oppressive for the side of MIPH to get anything done. Like literally 0 impact right now from Rupido. I'm not sure when we see this Lycan come into play. Perhaps with the Overlord up, but here's you have. You don't even care for that creep farming. I mean, again, it goes back to that Sven. Fortune Soul can just clear out these creeps, no problem. Even the Ancients.
Oh, bottom lane. So they're going to find a bit of a freebie here. And they will Lucify. Not happy with their ACP to run into Kishka. Haha trying to help out. Haha's going to die with him. That's a 2-for-1 special. That's upsetting. That is not good news if you are an MIPH fan.
No, definitely not. It's been a struggle. They came out pretty strong in their lanes, so we're finding a lot of kills. But again, the farm was up on Neon's end. And just really boiled down to this difference with Rupido and with Fortune Soul, and that's just growing bigger. Rupido's managed to catch up. JG's fallen behind to the same level as Rupido's farm. Only mildly behind Ken and Raging, but it's Fortune Soul that's running away with this game. Blink already up in the Sven, along with Mom. They are chasing up top here.
Yeah, they are. Raging Potato going to be targeted. Does get the link off though onto Rupido, though he will break it now, but the hook shot is out. Oh, it's still not enough, but they might punish. No, not quite. JG able to get away. He's okay. Raging Potato, not so much, obviously going down to the Lycan. And now Rupido looking at Kishka. Doesn't really have any lockdown. Oh, never mind. JG jumps in. Chains out will be more than enough.
Yeah. Again, this is where that Ember shines. It is just so mobile. Like, you need your hard stuns here. You need your puck with a Dream Coil. And with that Waning Rift Silence to kind of help you lock in JG. If you don't have those tools, the cogs alone, the pushback alone, and the hook shot, it's not enough. So JG's just finding these opportunities to try to keep themselves in the game. We'll see how much more he can find. He has to buy so much time out for Young God. Again, he has his Ags up and Crystallis up on the Gyrocopter, but it feels like it needs so much more than just that. You're going to want some lifesteal this game again. I think similar to game 1 build, it's going to be effective. Kishka.
In trouble. Should be fine. Has the raindrops to block off a lot of the damage coming in from the gyro. MIPH.
Dire's top tower is
Just fine messing around in the mid lane, trying to get some D wards off by the looks of it. Won't find much for himself. I'll tell you what, like, even with the state of the game, like, MIPH, they're going for a Roshan. And they're getting away with it for now, which is a huge loss for Neon. Just giving this away for free. They will scout it out now with the Rocket Flare at least. They could make it in time to contest this, as Roshan is still half HP. TPs are incoming towards the top tier 2 tower, but they don't have any time to waste. They need to get there right here, right now. They've got a hook shot available. Roshan's very, very low at this point. We need the hook to come in from Kishka. JG's gonna block the way though. He doesn't have an angle. Perfect block from JG. However, JG's been caught. JG is down. They might get Kishka at least, but Kishka's running. He finally drops. Meanwhile, the gyrocopter, he got the Aegis up, but he might just lose both lives here and now. There's one. Can we get a second? Rupido's trying to distract. And Neon? No, it seems Neon have had enough. The BKB's about to wear off on Fortune Soul, but he's moving back in anyway. In goes Ken, trying to find the Lycan. He's still running Rupido alive for now, but not for long, as he is finally going to go down. But Young God does make it. They didn't have the stun for the TP cancel, but it's still a great fight for Neon.
Yeah, I mean, they instantly take away the Aegis. They find 2 core kills for the trouble on top of that. They don't really lose out much outside of Kishka. And his respawn is quick enough that he's back into that fight anyway. So you take away this opening for MIPH where they could try to make a play off this Aegis. Now it's just back to farming for Young God. No objectives to be taken off the map for that Roshan. No openings being found. And Neon, I mean, you've got a puck with a blink now. Like, what stuns do you really have to keep Ken down? Doesn't feel like you have much. This puck is just such a menace right now. Yep. And you have to really pick and choose these fights with Haha quite well. When you commit those Brewlings, you have to ensure that you can kite the Sven. Because if not, he can just chain stun your Brewlings, clear them all out with the cleaves he has on hand. And suddenly that utility you're expecting from your Brewmaster also falls flat. Like this draft of MIPH is just so hard to play into this draft of Neon. Again, just really great reads coming out from Chuan. A lot of that on the Sven, but even just this puck pickup doing so much work for them in this game as well.
It certainly is. I mean, that last engagement, you saw the highlights. Like, it was a great block from the Ember, but with the Dream Core landing, it's just, there's no follow-up. He just has no way out without a BKB up, and while he is farming it up now, it may just be all too late, because you're just giving so much back the way of Neon. The mid-tier 2 tower not going to last at all, but they do glyph it. And in fact, never mind, Ken leaves. They don't want to stick around and finish it off. Young God has TP'd down to the mid-tier 2 tower now, but it seems like Neon have completely left the building.
Yeah, just go back, clear out the waves, stabilize their bot lane. Maybe just try to get some more build-up. You've got something flying out for Ken. He does have just some TPs to just help him get around the map. Wondering what he's going to be building up next. Does have a lot of gold in the bank. Could just be your standard Sanj Kaya if he wants to be even more nimble. These fights not care too much about any sort of counter control that can kick in. You do have Raging Potato as well, going for the full AC. I'd love to see him go for the Shard. Maybe it feels unnecessary right now, but man, it just helps you chase. 100 move speed towards you. It's like, oh, they find Haha.
They got, oh boy, Haha. It's a 4-staff away. Still running. Haha. Surely just does not get out of this as Castaway will hand the tip over. Stormhammer will land, though Haha is running quite fast here. The Storm Brawler form. He will eventually get taken out, surely. I mean, come on. There's no way. Tombstone drop now as well. Haha. Oh, he's still running. They actually can't kill him. Fortune Soul lands the stun. Okay,
this should be it.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that was a long time. Yeah.
That's a ton of space out. That's a lot of safe farm for MIPH to find down. But, and, you know, the tips very much worth their while. Haha, doing a great job of just trying to buy more time, trying to buy these timings that Young God is working into. He is going for the full.
Oh, nice walk.
They do find one.
They certainly have. Wolf form will come out just in the nick of time from Rupido. One more hit. No, it's not enough. Fortune Soul can't finish the job. Though Kishka is still in the chase. But it seems like he's fed his own life away here, Kishka. Still running from the creeps, but the creeps will not leave the man alone. In comes Ken. On to the Brewmaster again. Seems like Haha gets a little bit greedy himself. How far can he run this time, I wonder? Primal Split is out. Here we go again. The circus is in town. Let's see where Haha goes. He's going north. Well, it's the Earth Spirit, I guess you have to worry about, right? Where's he going back to now? He's going back to the Ember.
Kishka.
Haha's on the run. Kishka will chase him down. He's got the hook shot in 5 seconds. Haha. Someone play the Benny Hill music, my god. Haha gets hook shot. Kishka's not wasting any more time. He's had enough.
Oh my god. He keeps buying so much space. Granted, that was the split coming out, so you're not going to have that for the next engagement here from Haha, but it does feel like MIPH doesn't want to take these fights anyway. Still a smoke out from Neon as well. Smoke on smoke here.
Yeah, see what they can get with this. Tier 2 tower is already very low. This is not going to take Neon too much time unless MIPH want to try and fight. They'll throw a casual homing missile out, but that's not really going to threaten Fortune Soul. He has a BKB anyway, and it gets taken out. Neon just with a freebie will walk away. Still plenty of time for the next Roshan, so maybe it's about time they start looking towards the top tier 2 tower as well while they're at it. But there is going to be a big smoke out from MIPH. No split available, but they're going to try and force a fight. They might find Raging in the mid lane, who does show himself in Raging, getting the surprise of his lifetime, but he just pops the BKB. No problem. I'm out of here.
It's a smoke for BKB. Not the best smoke usage out from MIPH, but without the BKB up and Raging, it's going to be pretty tough for him to try to look for an angle into these fights. Opportunity for a push coming out for MIPH onto the mids here too. Start to open up the map a little bit more, try to equalize map control here. They are being split pushed though. Fortune Soul is just taking care of top for that mid tier 2. The Howl does slow down the cause. They can't really fully commit in. MIPH are playing with good vision on the triangle, so they can see if someone tries to dip up. And again, you're kind of banking on Young God. Full Satanic up now on the Gyrocopter. Daedalus next. So his output and sustain in the middle is starting to feel pretty damn big. They just need to find a way to leverage that. Like, we've seen when MIPH shines is these solo pickoffs for JG. Not finding those opportunities any longer. Does have the BKB ready on the Ember, so pinning him down is also equally as hard as it has been. You can't even rely on your puck. We'll go for the defense of this tier 2 though.
Young God, he's on the front. Young God, can they save him? Lift us out. The Young God, he just can't make it. Satanic was popped, it does nothing. Oh, he was just right on the front. Maybe not expecting Fortune Soul with the Shadow Blade out. Fortune Soul looking for a bit more now. Gonna see Haha. Perfect Rocket Flare timing. That's a big one. Like, you saw how quickly the Gyrocopter just melts to the damage output.
Yeah, and this is one thing with MIPH's draft. Like, they don't have a proper frontliner. Like, you could try to frontline with Grupido, but he doesn't have any counterplay once they commit onto him. There's really no teamfight coming out from MIPH. No AoE control. Only the utils from Gru, and they catch more.
Yeah, why not? And Lucifer, he could lift himself out of this, but he gets silenced anyway. Is gonna die, but in comes the Ember. JG gonna at least trade with one. Might find Castaways a second. Meanwhile, the bottom lane was being forced in, but they're trying to connect towards Castaway and Ken. JG, is he gonna go too far for this? They'll lose the Undying, but JG needs to get out now. He will have one remnant. Rupido, he's gonna be okay for now. Ken, scouting out for his team, will get some vision down. No PH, will get the D-wards off immediately. And that'll be enough by the looks of it. The Roshan is up in 5 seconds anyway, so both teams probably looking towards that now.
Yeah, it's going to be a big objective. If MIPH can find it, they can keep trying to stall this game out, but there's so many issues with how you take these fights. It's really just pickoffs where MIPH shines. It's really just down to JG. Scan is out from the side of Neon. They know MIPH is in that pit. They still have God Strength. They have the AoE control from Stormhammer. They've got the foil up as well. They've got the vision. It's not a smooth time for MIPH to try to force this one out.
Pain's out. They've caught Kishka. Castaway's going to jump in with the tombstone, and now on the backside they've got Rupido. The Lycan's gone. The Lycan is officially down. Young God, he's been controlled to boot. He's trying to force staff away, but it's not looking good, and he's lost all his damage. All the damage being sapped from Young God. They even hookshot to cancel the TP. JG, he's trying so hard to get something for his team, but nobody will drop. They'll even get Lucify on the Rubik. And Neon just get a free Roshan.
Yeah, nothing to stop them. I mean, how are you even going to do damage on this team with a full AC up and raging anyway, even without the static link? Like, with AC and Warcry, it just feels impossible for your physical core in the Jaro to take control of this game. They lose Aegis, they lose Cheese. Neon are free to do whatever they want. There is still a tier 2 up top that they need to clear out. Raging it takes to get across to equalize bot to ensure that they're shoving in on 2 lanes. For the side of MIPH, I don't see their high ground defense getting any better than these fights outside. Like, they can't really maximize this tight confined area. Just down to draft. Again, where's this team fight supposed to come out from?
Nice hook shot. Very, very nice hook shot from Kishka. Castaway and Kishka getting out of there together, hand in hand. MIPH 15k behind now, 1 game away from being knocked out of the TI-12 qualifiers. Neon 1 game away from proceeding, looking very strong so far. It's Arcane Rune now going to be bottled up by Ken. With an Arcane Rune, with an Aegis up on Fortune Soul, it's so hard to see them losing this next fight. Right? Like, you've even got a cheese on Raging Potato. How do you win this one as MIPH now?
It has to be pickoffs. It has to be JG finding these supports, picking them off, and then trying to isolate these cores one by one. If you can stagger out the fight, that's where MIPH can shine, but Neon just aren't splitting up. They're playing as a unit, they're playing as 5. They know that's where they're strong. They know MIPH can't stand up to the 5-man, and there's just no openings.
There's a tier 3 top tower. Not lasting. Very, very quickly going down. Onto the top racks they go. They have their whole squad up. Not too many buybacks available. They've only got 1 on JG at the moment. And that'll be about it for the top racks. They will play it safe though. They've got no creep wave in the mid lane. I mean, they might just wait for the tombstone even. Like another 35 seconds to just have the safety of the tombstone being placed by the tier 3. And they might even look at JG, who shows the top lane but does remnant away. So the smoke will not pan out in the Ember kill, but they're going to loop around through the top lane where Haha was trying to de-ward. Slows it there. Rupido's going to go into the wolf bomb, but the Dream Core's going to lock him down. Maybe they've got enough. Rupido's gone. He's got no buyback. Young God being chased underneath the tier 4 towers. They'll have to leave him be. He will get back to the fountain for a reset, but this is a pretty tough one. They are dropping low now. Raging, gonna eat the cheese. Fortune Soul still has the Aegis. Haha, dragging them back in. He's gonna try and force a fight now. They'll use up, or rather tornado off the Sven. They've gotten rid of Raging Potato. So it's a 4v4 engagement. Fortune Soul's almost looking to jump back in onto the gyrocopter, but Young God has healed up once again with the Satanic. That'll be about it. Neon will leave. They've seen this scenario before in this series, I think.
Yeah, they play it safe. You know, they don't overextend. They don't force the issue at hand. They're so close. They're so close. 15k lead up, 14 to 21. They still have ages for a minute and a half. Might as well play it safe. No reason to really risk it all here. And the side of MIPH, their options are growing limited. I mean, again, like these fights in the high ground are just so awkward, especially if they get picked off. So they have to watch themselves here, find a turn mentor for themselves, get the short going. It does go to Rupido so they can try to shove out the waves at the very least. But again, like, I don't know how you take these engagements. Yeah, you find some punishment onto Raging. He has an additional plate mail on top of his AC now. Like, how do you even kill him off? You're all physical.
Yeah.
And he's going for the full Shiva. It's just 2 plate mail pieces plus the Warcry.
Yeah.
You don't even have the Warcry shard up. Like, I know, like, Young God just can't do anything here.
It's just there's no way of piercing this armor. There goes a tier 3 mid tower with the tombstone being placed automatically here by Castaway, not messing around. 15 seconds of the Aegis timer left, so they're waiting this one out. They'll start onto the Sven, see if they can time this one well. Fortune Soul still standing his ground, hoping he dies, and they will take him. So they're a bit early. They had about another 7 seconds left on the Aegis. Fortune Soul, though, forced to back away. Will walk out as Ken will go for a dream call onto Rupido. They'll try for the Lycan. Rupido will walk out of there, though. Ken, also able to wall out, as now Raging Potato's going to casually jump in with the BKB, and now the hook shot. It's found the gyrocopter. Young God, he's trying to get out, but look at Fortune Soul. Look at the damage. He's got buyback at least. They'll come back into this one. The Sven very, very low. Well, rather was controlled up, now looking very, very low. There goes Ken, Fortune Soul alone. Fortune Soul has to fight. He'll pop the Storm Hammer, but he's been Storm Hammered himself, stunned up and down. He is gone. So they do at least take Ken with them, or rather Rupido with them. Castaway in the meantime, still going in. We'll have to back off away from Young God. Here come the buybacks. The Sven and the Razor looking to come back into the fight. Lucify dropping the gyrocopter. It's him against the world. But what can Young God do? What can he do? Tries to run Kishka back in with the hook shot. The Dream Claw locking down the Ember. He's in huge trouble. Fortune Soul with a harpoon. He found the dieback on the gyro. That's going to be it. The game has to be over. There's nothing left to defend.
There's no way.
And sadly, Jonathan, MIPH have to call it. Their run will end in the TI-12 qualifiers. And for Neon, they will make it through to the round of 3 of the lower bracket.
Yeah,